Erudia, an ancient land where gods walk among men. A living, breathing high fantasy world that we want to put into your hands. But we cannot do this alone. In order to bring you back to what tabletop is all about, combat, exploration, adventure, we need your help to bring it to life. By supporting us on Patreon, you can support this project and the cast of Moonskull, with our promise that we will answer to the only people that matter. You. Legend Seeker. Your legend starts here. Forge your path. Shape your destiny.
Now look, it's Thursday. You should be looking forward to Friday and then the weekend. Why aren't you happy? I don't see smiles. I mean, hi, I'm Frost. See, we'll do this real quick. Stand in so I don't have to point. Yeah, I'm Frost. I'm here to do some lore. Or, well, what is this world called again? Let's see. Oh yeah, it's the Godlands. This is the setting for Legend Seeker, the RPG that Erudia is writing. He may hop into chat here at some point and harass me, or all of you. We'll see. But I am having a blast writing this stuff and loving it. Working on the maps, all that fun stuff. I just don't always get a chance to say that because I'm so busy. But I'm having a heck of a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys are having fun here too. Jensen, hello. How goes it? You can see that everybody has their names all in long, weird form because YouTube is YouTubing it up. YouTubing it up. Woo. So, that aside, if anything is on the stream, like if you guys come up with a thought, an idea, throw it at me in chat. I won't use everything, as you saw in the legal thing. We, aren't obliged to use anything, and we aren't obliged to give credit. But I love hearing what you guys think, because you're the fans. You're the people who buy this stuff. And you guys have all kinds of thoughts, and I love them. At some point, I'm going to do an entire stream that is nothing but the food of the Godlands, because we end up talking about food anyway. So I have every confidence that you guys who are cooks and chefs can come up with some interesting ideas for a dish that's regional based on one of these groups. So, and if you want to throw that kind of stuff in the comments, please feel free. Do it, do it, do it. All right, I'm pushing buttons and doing stuff over there. So I was working on a couple of characters that are tangential to the pantheon, kind of, or in the history of the Godlands. Some of them are still, alive. Some of them aren't. But yeah, I'm just writing up a few more of them. Because what's a good pantheon in a world where the gods haven't meddled with their creation and maybe had dalliances, or maybe just created some interesting monsters and creatures? Because, they had time on their hands and the ability to do so. And they didn't stop to think that since they had the power to do it, whether or not they should do it. right? Yeehaw. So, Thursday has been a day. It's been crazy. As I told Chrysanth and I told a couple other people, I had somebody try to explain something to me. I think they were being helpful. And in trying to explain, they sent me a page that I had written about the proper procedure of how to do something, which was pointed out to them rather quickly by other people in the conversation. And then they answered the actual question. So it was a lot of fun. It was a time. Let's go with that. Trying to be helpful. Hey, I'm assuming everybody comes from a place of trying to be helpful first. And then if I realize they're not trying to be helpful, then I unleash the mug of mug. By the way, this thing weirdly is caught on with a bunch of people at work. So now a bunch of other people in my department have this mug because they bought it from my merch store. And it's one of the guys, his birthday's coming up, and the guy who is in charge of the department is like, send me that merch link again. I might make this the official white elephant birthday gift for everybody in the department. I was like, I have become a white elephant gift. I love it. Yay. Oh my Lord. What was I thinking? What was I thinking with sharing with people? Ugh. Let's see. I gotta find the note that I just literally wrote. All right, here we go. Here. We'll just copy this whole thing and throw it in here. Yeah, we'll throw this whole segment in here. We can do it. Lore, huh? Yeah, what is it good for? Absolutely everything. You are not wrong, Zerator1. You are not wrong. I'm having fun writing up some of these godkin, as I'm calling them. I went away from demigod to godchild with an E on the end, or to godkin right now. Because we got the godlings, why not the godkin? Which are, kin to the gods, but not quite gods. Okay, let's see. We won't say at some point. We'll say is. Okay, there we go. Bam. Put that there. All right. All right. So how are you doing tonight, Zerator1? I didn't get a heck yeah or a harumph out of Jensen. He said, good evening, and then he's just been quiet. He must be cooking up something. Making a whole pile of... Let's see, what would he be making? He's making jambalaya right now. In my head, he's making jambalaya or chicken pot pie. There we go. Might make some popcorn later because, of course, I need another food type to get stuck in my teeth. Yes. Well, speaking of food, as I told Chrysanth, I cleaned out my container storage because I was missing some lids that had cracked and some of the containers are getting just really old. So I cleaned out a whole bunch of them. Got rid of a whole bunch of the more disposable ones, but everything in the fridge was full. So after I made food this morning, I didn't have any containers left. I'm like, I could just wrap everything in saran wrap or cellophane or something. I'm like, I have plenty of freezer bags. So for a snack down here, I won't show the brand side, I have a zip bag with a big piece, and it looks really dark on here, but it's not actually. It's golden brown. Everything looks dark with the setup here. It is golden brown. It's a thick piece of wonderful French toast in a bag. But also, because I'm classy, I have a bag of scrambled eggs and a fork because I'm high class. I also have sriracha over here, so I can just put sriracha in the bag and shake it around in the eggs, which is kind of fun. Hello, Paul. On my way home from work on the train. Oh, nice. How is everybody doing while I talk about bags of food and ask them what their policy and spaghetti in a bag is? If you don't know that reference, basically, it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Classy bag man, exactly. Hey, I'm wearing, you can't really see it because everything is set so dark here. I'm wearing my warm plaid shirt with a hoodie, so I could be the classy bag man with a black wizard hood, which is really hard to see out of because it falls over the wrong side of my head. And now I really messed up my hair. Not that I care, but it's on the back of my neck now. That's really annoying. Yeah, anyway, so we're talking about the Godkin. Now, I created something else at some point here. I created this new character being that I didn't name yet, but something I created a while back were divine sparks. And I'm trying to decide what, if I want to give them another name or something like that. These are literal divine sparks born from Volcan's Forge. These are little sparks that have the ability to endow a person or a thing with a spark of energy before their brief lives end. So they are something to be, treasured. I don't know if we would make them eternal until used. Like it's a spark from the forge and someone found one and it's, enshrined in a temple and they have it, like in a monstrance, like, when people put, the finger bone of a saint, but they have a divine spark in a little thing. Or if they basically happen, they fall, they fall where they will and they inspire someone. And what they were supposed to be were, he's creating stuff and making things, there's sparks flying out over the world. And that was supposed to be the divine spark of his inspiration. And it would just, one would hit someone and they'd be like, I know how to make a better plow. Or, oh my gosh, I just thought of a great way to make these barrels better. We can keep our wine even longer. And they were supposed to be just his, divine inspiration to people because he is, all about progress and inspiration. I'm trying to write a little bit more about these little things because I think they could be really fun to play with, especially if there's an adventure surrounding one, or even if a DM just wants to make them a thing that are, coveted, that no one ever sees them, but one place or a temple literally caught one, and it was, kept, and it's been kept this whole time. I don't know, which, when you think about it, would be totally against their beliefs. And I'm like, oh, that would be kind of fun. Like the people, the higher ups in the church being like, yes, we have the divine spark among us. And people are like, point of order. Our God wants that divine spark in someone's head. Nonsense, you're a heretic. Kill him. It could be a whole point of contention between all these groups. And I think that would be very fun, especially if the adventure focused, now I'm thinking, around somebody in the church who's mid-level, really annoyed by the higher level bureaucratic kind of clerics of the church, hiring a group of adventurers or thieves, like, I want you to do this thing, but it's going to involve you breaking into our church. I do not want you to use this knowledge for evil later on and trusting these people that they're going to go in, do that thing, and not do anything else. So you could just create an entire weird adventure around the whole thing or they're charged for, you know, doing a little heist and breaking in and freeing the divine spark, and then seeing what happens with the divine spark, because maybe that person, if the DM wants it, is not a nice person, and they're like, no, I want the divine spark myself. I'm not going to tell these idiotic thieves. I'm going to get them in trouble. Or if the person's on the level and they're like, you know, I want this divine spark to go wherever. I don't care where it goes. And who knows? Maybe the divine spark would go out and hit some shepherd in the head, and he's like, I totally understand a better way to feed my sheep. We're going to totally create better wool. Or who knows what. Or I know a way to make this, you know, like Clarkson Farm, make a better rail around the inside of this thing so the mama pig doesn't roll over on her baby pigs, and so we get more pigs that survive. That's the fun thing about a divine spark. It could be anything. And this is what I do in my head all day, by the way. So if you think I'm talking up a blue streak now, just if you could be inside my head, I don't shut up. And that's why I have to write things down, because I got to get some of them out of my head occasionally. All right, there we go. Oop. Yeah, exactly. Divine Spark doesn't belong in a museum. Let's see. Ancient text for the realm. Happy to be done with work and got some work done on my car that luckily didn't cost me anything because it fell under the 1-year warranty. Nice. Ooh, a 1-year-old car. Very nice, Paul Farrell. Noble's priest coveting divine sparks. That can spark a war. Ha! Exactly. This is why you have notebooks all over your house. I love notebooks. They're fun. Black market spark being auctioned. Yeah. It should be fun. This could be fun. I like it. I'm getting myself on an entire tangent here. In fact, what I'm going to do is, because I'm in this folder, I've got to move my bag of eggs out of the way. I have it sitting here in front of my monitor. It's blocking my view. Yeah, bag of eggs. All right. Oh, I closed that folder. When did I close that folder? All right, I got to get back into this folder for this writing. Where is my Legend Seeker stuff? All right, we will put a new doc in here. And this is going to be all right. I'll have to talk to Erudia about this too, because I thought what would be really fun is once we get going on, you know, the books are out and we got all that stuff, or right around the time we get books out, we have stuff ready to hand out to people at, you know, on a 2-week marker, a 3-week marker, a 1-week marker, something, because writing a whole module takes a while, but having small adventures, like a 1-page or a 2-page adventure, like it's a front and back of a PDF, I think would be amazing to be able to just say, hey, thanks for buying it. You know, anybody who bought it or anybody who's a Patreon supporter, here's a 2-pager. Another week later, here's another 2-pager. They don't have to have fancy art. They can literally use the same art layout we do for everything else, I believe. But if we come up with these adventure hooks, these adventure ideas and things, even if it's like a new take on something, I think they could be fun. But I'll have to see what he thinks. He might think that's cool, but maybe a little too much work. I don't know. He's the business person, right? All right, I'm going to open this up. And you won't see movement on this because I'm writing this in a different document, but you'll hear me clickety-clacking. All right, let's see. We're going to take this from over here. We're going to say, where would we set this? Where would we set this? I think the temple would be somewhere in Agrium. But where specifically would we put this if we were... okay. I'm thinking it wouldn't be in Xandria. I'm thinking Calidai, but let me check something once here. This is where the Artesian Springs. Ooh, I want that though. It doesn't make sense to be in Artaxia. Mate. Let's see. Solus. Many of the greatest orchards. Okay. That is where that is. Trying to find a city that would be the best place for this. Solvo. Ooh, I know where it should be. I know where it should be. I think it should be in Port Surga. All right, we'll go with Port Sturga. Waterport. All right, I think we're gonna say Sturga, because this is where they have... Yeah, because this is where they had the God's Hill. This will be perfect. This will be good. All right, we're gonna swap that over to the... Where did my document go? There we go. Temple of the God Hills Ward of the city of Port Surga, Utsia. Let me just make sure that I'm getting the name of this thing right too. Where did my document go here? Not my document. Make sure I'm spelling this right. All right. Not the whole car. It's part that had a warranty. Okay. Rare powerful thing equals we want the precious. Yes. I don't want to work anymore. But JJ, no. Hey, by the way, sorry, I'm just reading some of this stuff. Feline, Zerator 1 is on a train right now riding home. See, you work with trains. He's on a train. I shall have a crown of sparks, blessed crown of divine inspiration, royal blood. That would be fun, a sparkly crown. That's not what they're for, blasted mortals. I have months of pain coming soon with work. Oh no! Oh, don't have months of pain. Months of pain is bad. Man, I love getting just random messages from people on Discord. Don't know who they are. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna check because there's another word for monstrance. I think it's on Austin. Austin. Ostentorium. There we go. All right, let's see what we got here. Or an ostensory. You know, weirdly enough, not to get political or religious specifically, but somebody the other day had said, man, I really hate how gaudy all these crazy Protestant churches and stuff are. People should really get back to Catholicism. And I was like, wait a second. I grew up Catholic. Our church, even in a tiny town, it was massive. It was built in the hillside at the end of the street of this tiny town on the Mississippi. It was this massive edifice built right into the rocky hillside. And down the street, the Lutheran church was like a building with a parking lot. And then I became a Lutheran later, and the church was literally like, you know, whitewashed walls. And if we're lucky, there was a stained glass window. I'm like, wow, they must be going to a different church than I visit. Like, or maybe it was rage bait. I wasn't sure. But this made me think of that. I'm like, I'm looking at the picture of these ostentoriums and the ostensories and the monstrances, and I'm like, well then. They're pretty. It was a little shocking the first time I had gone into a Lutheran church when I was a kid, because one of my friends was Lutheran. His dad was the pastor, and I was like, wow, where are all the statues of everybody and everything? And my friend's just like, huh? I was like, I don't know. We have a lot of statues. He's like, I don't know. We don't have any of those. Oh, it was hilarious. Ain't bad, Sarah One. You're right. Yeah, I don't know. People are a little odd. I'm in a Lutheran church and we were renting space at school on the weekends. Yeah. I don't know. I think, honestly, it was probably rage baity stuff where people are like, oh my God, what is this? And they put a picture of something that everybody knows what it is, and just to wait because they're like, engagement. Same like those videos where they're like, please show me an interesting video that makes me happy. Like, I'm assuming that meant happy. And then they'll post a video of somebody doing something random that's just something somebody filmed for engagement clicks somewhere on the other side of the planet. You're like, okay. And then it's always a video like that says something like, a kind heart always knows a kind heart, and love is for everybody in all kinds and all pieces and places. And then it will show somebody with a weird song being nice to a cat. Anyway, enough of that. We're not going to do those in here. This adventure idea and this area and these divine sparks, they're going to totally not be clickbait. European Catholic churches are like marble, granite, stained glass windows, precious metals in many spots, and most aren't supposed to be gray. They need to be clean. Its suit from Black Moon Fire was like, yeah. You know, when I went to Cologne, however you want to pronounce it, whatever. If you want to use their pronunciation or mine, I love going to the Roman Museum, the Roman spots, but going to the Doma, or whatever they're called it there, the big church in Cologne. That definitely, they had parts where they were cleaning a little bit of it. Like, wow. You could see the difference, cleaning off a couple hundred years of smoke and soot and wear and tear and everything on the church inside and out. It's impressive. Divine cooking, just a dash of ground divine spark. Oh, yeah. You just take the divine spark and you're like, I put too much in. It's very spicy. That would be... Oh, that would be horrible. You're just sprinkling it down your elbow. It's the divine spark guy. I wonder if... I'm going to call it an ostensorium, because everyone knows what a monstrance is. Well, okay. Let me back up. Not everybody knows what a monstrance is, but when you say monstrance, people will look it up and be like, oh yeah, monster, I've heard that. When I say something like an ostensorium, it should key something off in people's heads and be like, what now? Which I like. I like using words that I've never used before, so that's fun. And I can say I've never used that word in a sentence before until right now. Let's see. It's 1700s. Oh, interesting. The earliest evidence for this is from 1758 in a translation by John Adams. Okay. I want to see the etymology. Oh, thank you for visiting. Sign up for our site. Nope. All right. To hold out for inspection, to show and demonstrate. And that is the place. Okay. Suffix of place. Noun, derivative from neuter, torius. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. First known use, 1760 by John Adams. Oh, that's fun. We're in good company. We're using a word that was first used, as far as we know, by John Adams. Love it. Divine Spark Bay. That's what it was called. Yeah. Or is it by? Is it Bay? I think it's Bay, right? BAE, even though it's B. Whatever. Whatever. Regardless, we're cooking with gas and divine sparks now. Okay. Let's see. Most believing. So, Temple of the Gods Hill Ward of the city of Port Sturga. Utia has an ostentorium that supposedly contains a divine spark from Vulcan's forge. These are normally whispered about, not known to actually physically exist, most believing that they are merely a metaphor for inspiration and striking. I'll rewrite that when it... All right. Even though I prefer gas induction is faster and modern induction be more precise. Yeah, I have just a normal glass top stove with just burners underneath it. They're not induction, they're not magnetic or any of that stuff. I kind of wanted to get one of those stoves, but I was just going cheap when I built the house. When I replace this, I'm probably going to do that. I would rather have, in all honesty, I would rather have been able to set it all up with a gas stove, because I love cooking over a gas fire. It, as a child, every house we had a huge LP tank. It was always a gas stove. It was always, flame. Yeah, click, 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 poof. It's just the way I learned how to cook. But I've never had one since. So I've always dreamed of it, but I also don't want to deal with the tank and all that stuff. I'm just like, eh. So I do have a line that comes into my house from the local gas company for the water heater, and I think the furnace is electric, but I think the water heater has the gas line. So I could technically do it, but I always thought about doing that again, but then I was just like, maybe I'll buy an induction cooktop or something. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Mid-level clerk in the organization is listed to help adventurers to break into the church and release the spark. As he said, it is. Not Vulcan's will to have such information used and trapped. I'm just going to write down the options here. He could be a bad guy trying to steal it for himself. Could be sincere. Could be sincere and want it released. Could be write it that way. Color. Keeper decide. All right, let's save that. All right, we're going to save that document. And we're going to keep that open because if I have other ideas, I might hop in there and put them in there. I got a gas stove, uses house gas. Electric, it's not bad 90% of the time, but there are some things it really struggles with. I know you said that at one point it was hard to make, you were talking about bacon in the oven, it wouldn't do it right. Don't know much how much it costs. You can definitely get a gas line to your kitchen. Getting in the house is the most expensive part. Yeah, I have it in the house. I'm assuming they could just run it through the floor or under the floor here. Yeah, electric is not fun. Though I do have at least a convection oven. My main oven on my stove is a convection. So it cooks things very nicely and quickly. It is nice. Oven struggled with bacon and the stovetop struggles with rice. Everything else works pretty well. Well, you just have to get yourself a rice cooker and you're set. Okay, wrap it back around. Sorry, reading a work message here. Okay. All right, so Fort Sturga, I'm going to see here where... I'm going to make an entry about the Temple of Vulcan in this area. Flashy and well-maintained Temple of Vulcan resides here, vying for preeminence and splendor with that of Xander. All right. Cover the rice with plastic wrap and foil and cooking in the oven. For every good feature, YouTube ads, I like the new comment threads. Now it's back to full names. Yeah. Instant Pot, not the best rice cooker, but the least multifunctional. Yeah, I have a rice cooker steamer thing, but it also is a steamer. So you can literally, it has a basket and things that go on top. So you could technically cook rice and steam vegetables and or like dumplings or seafood and stuff at the same time. So it has a pretty good track record for doing all that stuff. It hasn't caused any problems. Stove is literally the worst way to make rice. Yeah, we used to make it as a kid all the time on the stove because we obviously way back in the yesteryears, we didn't have anything fancy other than just a pot. So that's where we did it. Let's see. We'll say as well. Thank for preeminence. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Where did my document go? Need that. Preeminence. Okay, there we go. By the way, don't forget to hit the like button on your way in or your way out. Either way, giving those likes and everything, like we're doing with all the other streams, giving likes and giving comments are really good at getting us out there, getting people to see what we're doing. Okay. Reading the next part here, trying to decide if I need to put anything else in here. Yeah, I think that's good. It pretty much covers what we need this area. Where was I at here? Sorry. That's just a very nice thing for someone to say. I am going to check this message here because well, I want to check it. I won't check it. I want to see what's going on. Okay, there's my it's just another DM from some person. I don't know who this person is. It's somebody who's in a mutual server with me, and I don't know who they are. Anybody on Discord know somebody named Catalia? I can't tell what their image is. It's like some kind of a weird Joker creature or something standing on the spar of a ship or something. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. I mean, I don't know. I assume everybody who sends me friend requests is a bot unless I know them. So it's possible I have denied people friends requests who are very nice human people. I just don't know. Because normally they never say anything. They just do a friend request. All right, let's see. I wanted to check a message here because I just got another message here. All right, we'll send that message, and then I will get back to this. Huh. That was funny. Okay, so my next thought is I have another thought that I just wanted to put into that little document, so I'm going to quickly do that for the Divine Spark idea. Okay. That'd be kind of fun. Well, what I was writing down was the idea that maybe once that spark is released, like if they release it, or maybe even if one of the characters during the heist, if they're doing something, they break the thing and the spark gets released. You roll a die and see which player it's going to, attach to and inspire, because they're the ones nearby, and then roll on if you have a little random chart of like, here's all the things that could happen, depending on class or depending on whatever it could be. But also that once it hits someone, there's a splash on effect to everybody. So even if one person gets the kind of the cool hit, everybody's going to get a temporary blast of some sort out of the thing, because it's like directly getting hit by a divine inspiration. It's not like a simple little arrow to the head. It's got a little bit of a splash damage, so to speak. Let's see. Sounds like one of those OF gals. Could be. Don't know. All right, there we go. Yeah, I'm assuming it's just it. The thing is, it's somebody who's also in, and it could just be a bot. Somebody who's also in. I don't even know where the server is. It's a Game Master Insight channel that somebody asked me to join, and I went over there and listened and watched the guys. I'm like, okay, they're interesting. There's one guy on there who is very, very persnickety and particular when people are in his game. If they make any noise, like, click on the keyboard and stuff, he shoots some daggers and stuff because it bothers him so much to hear any ambient noise. I'm like, it bothers me, but it bothers him even more. And he basically is like, if you don't have a noise gate, if you don't have the ability to pause and stop and mute yourself before you do this stuff, I will kick you. Ooh. So, yay. But anyway, this person is also on that server. So maybe they're a real person. I don't know. They might be. All right. Let's see here. Why is my machine telling me about a Windows update? I thought I just did a Windows update the other day. I didn't. Anyway. I don't know why it's reminding me right now. It's kind of a stupid time to remind me. Or the best time to remind me, because I'm using the machine. Apple Meeting Man. That's the guy. Yes. Crunch, 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 crunch. So I'm thinking, crunch, crunch, crunch. Maybe we could do. I don't know why he has that kind of an accent. So what you gotta do? Here, crunch, crunch. Is you move the Bunsen burners over here. He's Jimmy Durante or something like that in a scientist body. Inka-dinka-doo. Something like that. My gosh, it's just nonstop. Now I'm just getting messages left and right from everybody on everything. What is this? Okay. I don't really care. I just don't care. He was running the meeting and eating an apple at the same time. Oh, that's even worse. Wow. Generally, if I run a meeting, I try not to eat. And if I'm in a meeting and I have to eat, I mute and go off camera. Especially if I'm eating out of a bag of scrambled eggs. Kidding. I would never deny anybody watching me eat a bag of scrambled eggs. All right, so let's save that notation. All right, good. Where were we at here? We were talking about Prosturga, talking about the Divine Spark, and I was talking about the Godkin. Let's go back to the Godkin. The organizations. Okay, nope, that's the Forbidden Architect guy. Ventonis. Darium. Our home. That is Concordia. Dash, the Garden of Sins. Ah, the legends of the dead Lake of 1,000 Blooms. All right. We are going to go back over to all right, we're gonna go here. That there. All right. Luckily none of us were on camera, but he was just chowing down while talking. It sounded like he was eating an apple. I have no way to be sure. He could have been gnawing on raw turkey leg or something. I don't know. Oh, interesting. All right. So this is Asimir. He's right after the Divine Sparks, but I have a section here that is talking about literal godkin and then NPCs who are important to the world, and some of the undergods. But I could put this stuff here. Trying to decide those are important because I want to move some of these things around, but I think keeping them where I have them right now is fine. Let's see. I had a thought, given the idea of all this crazy stuff that's going on here. There could be somewhere a godkin that is something that was spawned by Grix with the help, or yeah, I would say help of his then mistress before she realized how horrifying he was. And so, yeah. Let's see here. Check this really quickly. Yeah, that would work for that place. Okay. I don't know the name of this creature. So this would be a child of Grix and Davila, but I don't know if child is the right word. Hello, Cajun Corey. And the real chrysanthemum. Hello, the real chrysanthemum. Oh, so mean. But welcome. We're talking about Godkin right now. The offspring of gods and other gods, and sometimes the gods and mortals. So he is hedonism, revenge. He is trickery. So this creature is a selfish little being that collects secrets and hoards them. Using them as leverage if necessary. Just wish that other Chrysanth would. You've been acknowledged? We'll go with that. So wait, I'm assuming real Chrysanthemum uses both your names and the real in front. Man, are they dedicated. At least it's not the worst name he, assuming it's a guy, has used Chrysanthemum. Very true. Very true. Oh, man. All right. There we go. Offspring of Grix and Dabila, Grix never knew of this being's existence, as Dabila hid him from his father and sequestered him deep within her temples in Kadesh. Selfish being, he collects secrets and hoards them, using them as leverage if necessary, but keeps them as a dragon keeps treasure, not caring as to the why he desires them, only caring that he has them. So he's also known as the Lord of the Cup, the Drunken God, or the Drunken God, even though he's technically not a god. Maybe we'll call him Drunken Godkin, the patron of alcoholic excess and loose lips. So he's known to use He's believed to use alcohol to pry secrets from the lips of any and all for his own collection. Because Spency's, trickery, and she is excess and hedonism and revenge. This all fits. My name is Secretary Nugget, but YouTube is being YouTube with these handles. Finally home. Welcome home, Zerator One. Welcome home. All right, there we go. All right, so the offspring of Grix and Davilet. Grix never knew of this being's existence, as Davilet hid him from his father and sequestered him deep within her temples in Kadesh. That's not the word I want. That's the word I want. Too many letters in that word made it not work. All right, we'll go to a couple of these. Okay. Oh, that doesn't work. That site is just dead. We'll change the what was I using for this one? I'm using heading number 4. It's 4. Yeah. Gore. Select secrets and hoards him, using them as leverage if necessary, but keeping him as a dragon keeps treasure, not caring as to why he desires them, only caring if he has them. He is also known as Lord of the Cup, the drunken godkin, a patron of alcoholic excess and loose lips. He is believed to use alcohol to pry secrets from, not form, from the lips of any and all for his own collection. And this is based, I based his name off of a Hebrew word that means, well, a drunkard. And I can't roll my R, so I can't pronounce it properly. It's shikor. But on the end, there's a sound. I can't do that. I'm lucky I can speak the words I can speak, man. Da, da, da. Drunken God's fun. All right. Look at that. We just created a couple of new godkin here. Trying to think. Let's see here. That's really helpful. Thanks. That's great. Okay, here we go. We'll just call her Mori. We'll put this in there. We'll save that there. All right. I guess that doesn't really make sense. Shared efforts. All right. Mordecai and Arintha coax Mori into being. Maybe I'll give her 2 eyes. Into being through shared efforts. Remind mortals of their place in the divine scheme, not as profound a mantle as the herald of death, Mordecai's psychopomp. This being is a subtle creature. Spirit of the foreknowledge of mortality, she's tasked with helping shepherd the lost but non-malevolent dead to their proper places, as well as a voice of conscience in the heads of the sentient undead, reminding them that they do not belong amongst the living. Can you imagine being an undead creature like, I'm a powerful, and this lady just comes into your place and just looks at you and just says, you should give up. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. He's like, no, I want to stay alive as an undead. Just go to sleep. And she's just there to remind. She's not there to push. That disturbing creature that just keeps showing up. That stupid conscience that shows you that you are nothing compared to the gods. Is this the frost deity? No. Wait, the drunken one or the other one? Mori is she is a girl. And Shikor, he is a guy. He is a drunken god. That will be the day. How else are people going to know I'm the real Chrysanth? Chrysanth? Are you the real Chrysanth? Which one do we shoot? I don't know. We may have to just have Daryl shoot both of them. I mean, what? All right, put that up there. The real one is the one with channel access. Shoot the one with the wrench. She's threatening you with the red shooter. Oh no. Oh no. Doesn't sound right. Something about this. I don't know why I'm going all Christopher Walken all of a sudden. Quasi-walking. Look. Friend. So I can recenter that for you so it doesn't look so messed up. Hans. Booby. What are you doing? Right. So we've got 2 Godkin there. We've got that one. We got that one. We're not going to talk about this other one. I've got another one written over here, but I'm not discussing that one yet. Oh, and something's going squeak, 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 squeak against the door over there. Who is that? Should I go see who is bothering me? Both, to be safe, I'll get the double barrel shotgun. Oh no! Duck Chrysanths. All right, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go check and see what what cat has decided the door is their scratching toy? Being that it's a big plate glass window, it makes a horrible scratching post. It's quite the noise, though. Oh, here. I puzzled it out. Wasn't very difficult. Because there was literally one of the calico cats who visits was up at the door just. So I just directed her over towards the food. Like, the food's over there. So anyway, and I also got visited by, I had to say hello to him. I got visited by Max. So the reason, by the way, that I was not able to do anything Tuesday is because I got a note from, or a message from my neighbor saying that out near their edge of their property on the main road, they saw a black or a gray and white cat who had been hit. And they're like, I don't know if it's one of yours or a feral cat. And I was like, oh no. So immediately I started looking for my cat Wolfie, who's a big gray and white cat. Went outside in the front and I started calling for him, and I opened a can of food. He comes, me. His little meow siren was on. He goes, me, because he's big cat, little voice. Came out of the woods. I'm like, oh good, he's safe. Couldn't find Max anywhere. Assumed it was just Max. Went out, found the cat, the body. It was so messed up I couldn't tell if it was Max or not. I was like, oh. So I gathered it up. I brought it back home. I found a spot out near the edge of the woods, and I dug a hole and I buried it and put some big rocks and stuff over it so nothing digs him up. Was like, oh, that's terrible. He's such a grumpy cat, but he didn't deserve to get hit by a car. Later on that night, I go outside because I'm hanging out with the other cats on the front porch, and I opened up a can of tuna, and I hear, because he makes a siren meow when he just runs. He just is constant like, Doppler effect coming at me. Max comes running out of the woods. I'm like, Max, it wasn't you, okay? Then he was like, tuna, oh my God. So he had tuna, I think probably the first time ever. Because I don't know if he had smelled it before, because I had actually put it out before for other cats when he wasn't there. So he was okay. I'm like, whose cat was this? And I thought, oh, there's a gray and white cat that comes and visits the back porch. And later that night, like midnight, I don't even remember what time it was. I'm like looking out at the back porch. That gray and white cat shows up, and I'm like, none of the neighbors knew whose cat it was. I have never seen the cat before, and I'm like, I don't know whose cat I buried. But I was like, very like, my cats. So I spent a lot of time just hanging out with cats all night. So yeah. Oh, let's see. Real one doesn't need to duck. Wow. Brady's Banhammer already short enough. Dang, Jensen, that's cold but true. Luckily, I too am short, so that trick won't work. You're raising a Banhammer against me. Never been banned by anyone. Many blocks on X, mostly from thin-skinned lefties. One from Law of Self-Defense because I said we have been to the moon before. Yes, happy kitties. Yeah, cats getting run over by cars. My cats generally are pretty terrified of the road and they don't like cars. But Max is not scared of cars for whatever reason. So if somebody comes driving up the driveway to park in front of the house and drop something off, he'll just sit there and stare at them. If they come too close to him, he's like, "Rah!" He goes after them. So I'm like, oh, it could have been him. But nope, he's fine. I don't know. Yeah, the ground is sour. No. He's full cat face and cat body and everything. He's totally a fine cat. He's happy. He's alive. He does not need to get visited by Maury. All right. Where's that at here? Oops. I say the best words. All right. There is that note. Where did this go? All right. I was rewriting some stuff about Casimir because I realized I didn't put a couple of notes in his setup here. So I rewrote this whole thing today. Just smushing things around a little bit. Clarifying. So does everybody have plans for this weekend? Or is everyone just going to relax, sit down, enjoy the weather? Here, it's getting cold. So I'm a fan. Yay, cold. I might break out the winter blankets tomorrow. Not sure. I took off Monday to use personal time on my mom's birthday. Very nice, Cajun Corey. For once, I can finally can relax since it's a weekend with no plans there, everyone. Nice. It's cold here too. I have a heater on now. Ah. Scare Erudia tomorrow night. Work morning, the first time in a while. Ah. So you're gonna blurb him into submission. His poor heart. His poor heart. Okay. That is him. So that is in the lexicon. Go over here to Headland of Robia. Ideal for the raising of sheep and other such livestock as such as almost wholly given over to this enterprise. Yeah, that's this whole island, headland, whatever. The stockyards of Robia are brimming with beasts of all kinds for sale year-round, from the mundane to the exotic. It has become a place to trade anything From herd animals to the odd creature caught on a, let's see, caught on a far off expedition. So if you want to find somebody who's raising monsters over here, you go to the headlands here. We got all kinds of monsters over here. Got fields of rust monsters. No, we just got these rust monsters in this week. Going hunting and seeing family when not in the woods. Nice, Paul Farrell. Good luck out there. Chris Sansa, I'll tell him to take aspirin before the stream. That is a good idea. Will he listen to you? No. But you'll tell him so your conscience will be clear. I scared him with Windrose last time. Didn't even mean to. I think the You're Dead song from What We Do in the Dark. Also scared him, but I can't remember. That's such a good little clip, too. Yeah, What We Do in the Shadows, yeah. It's such a good clip, too. And I love that little song. It's so fitting for that song, or that show. I'm gonna scare Erudia until he poops himself. Oh my gosh. Are there goblins? Goblin Slayer would like to know. I don't know. Did they raise Rudy Poos? I don't think anybody could raise Rudy Poos. I think they'd be too scared. They'd just be hiding in some shadow somewhere, and he'd just be like, we can't corral them. They just get scared and shoot goop everywhere that gets sticky, and we can't run after them. So I'm thinking that might not be something you can domesticate. I'm just saying. Family just went home, so going to sleep. All right, Sassy Witch, you go to sleep. Enjoy the evening. Thank you for stopping by. If you get a chance at some point, Sassy Witch, you should go watch one of the recent streams I did on my YouTube channel, if you haven't seen it, where I'm playing Dredge, because it features a hat, and I have a fishing hat on my head that Tomix made me put on, and I made sure it was transparent around it, so it starts off really small. Every time I run into a rock or hit something or do something stupid, I make it bigger. By the end of the last stream, I think it was like, where's my hands? About this big on my head. It was pretty wide, pretty large. I think there's a screenshot of it. Yeah, so that could be entertaining. It got big. It wasn't my fault. They started throwing water spouts at me that spawned out of nowhere right in my path when I'm going full speed. It was mean. It was mean. It was just mean. Game. So mean. Perfect for a glue factory. So Robia is where they make the glue factory. The vast herds of Rudy Poos just yarping right around all over everywhere. Fun. Yarp, 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 yarp. Yeehaw. Real quick, I was gonna do something too. I don't have the map up right now because I was playing around with it. I realized I was probably talking about the map at some point, but I'm gonna run something here quickly, and then I'll have to. Oh, I don't want to do that. That is the wrong thing. Here we go. Run this one. Okay, yeah, launch it. Gonna put it full screen, unfortunately. Why is it doing the demo? That's so annoying. Okay, now it's not doing the demo. Or is it? I don't know what it's doing. I just wish it would load. Very stupid and frustrating that it's not. There we go. We got 2 versions of it here. That's great. Let's get out of here. Exit. All right. That's okay. We'll open that up. I just want to see, because I think this is the latest one. This is where I ended up getting to with Greenhaven. You get to see it load in. It's pretty cool how it populates a map. This is where we got to last time when I was working on Greenhaven. and environment around Greenhaven and Canvas of Kings. So I ended up doing the whole port down here by the bridge, the mini port. It's like a little landing spot for larger ships, smaller ships. We didn't get down this way. The guards at the bridge, or the guard station, and the house here with the yard, with the road heading into the main town where the Temple of Kika is. The market area. So we got the market. I know it's a little hidden under the. I can maybe move it here. Maybe I can move it. Come on. I could maybe snuggle it down here over the top of stuff. There you go. You can probably see it a little more easily there. So the market, the parking area to the left here, where the marketeers put all their stuff, and another house and stable. The town hall and the plaza, where they have all the merriments. The main tavern of the town, plus the blacksmith in the back with his open air forge. And heading out to where the ancient walls used to be, the fortifications and whatnot, the revetments and everything that used to be part of the actual fort. And then the mansion up on the hill, where the one of the rich families lives. There's a lady who oversees the place. Ruined houses, and you get to see here now this really straight road here that goes right through the town. That's the old Agrian road that used to connect everything, and you can see it actually used to go through here and right to the bridge, but now they kind of abandoned all that and they put their own path down. And again, this road connects from up here where my cursor is down to this road. There used to be a straight swatch of road through here, but it's all over the last 1,000 years has been kind of taken over. The road goes down around to like the normal hill and stuff, because this kind of cut over a hill. Now they just go around it because, well, they robbed all the stone out of the road, and the rest of the road continues back here. So this section is gone too, right through these woods. And this is where the other end of the town kind of begins, where the guards are heading on through before it heads off into, you know, this little farmstead area here with fun stuff. I didn't thought I could turn on the lights, the house lights again, make it a little more like nighttime. Heads down to where the fields are, the little hermit and his cabin on the lake. His somebody's sunken boat in the lake while he's out there fishing. His rowboat. Got the other ruined house out the end of the woods back here. And that just heads off through the woods. That's the hill where the mansion is. We've got a lot of paths going off into the woods, going somewhere. We don't know where, doing stuff. And then we've got just the back end of the town here with the cleared areas off into the woods. Pretty cool program. Remember that I thought you looked like first time I heard your voice, Dumbledore and Fantastic Beasts. Ah! Map maker, make me a map. Find me a mine marked on a hatch. Hey, we did. Said it a few times, I'll say it again. For someone who started and runs a supposed horror theater channel, Erudia is easy to scare. Well, that's the best kind, isn't it? He should be totally shocked by everything. Maybe that's why he really likes it. He likes getting scared. He enjoys the horror for the scare factor for himself. I myself don't get scared by stuff very often, so I'm horrible to have in those things. I will get jump scared when something shockingly loud or even sort of loud pops up. I'm like, ugh. But normally that's how you get me. You get a jump scare out of that. But normal, scary, grisly stuff, I'm just like, eh. Anyway, so there's all that. I'll be doing some of these for other villages and other places too. This one I'm gonna probably kind of try to fill in some of this area down here and then just kind of let it fade away. So, you know, once I get around this side of the lake, just leave it kind of like nothing. We'll smooth out this edge. I'll just bring the trees down into something and then just pretend that's where the edge of the map is, because I'm not going to map out the whole world through this. So, I mean, you could go really crazy. Like, if you see how big this canvas is, I could do probably a good portion of the Kingswold here if I wanted to. And then try and stitch it to another map at some point, which would be pretty fun. But I'll probably just go down a little ways and spread some stuff out here just so we have more ideas. And then I'll go on to another town style, see if we can actually do something like where maybe one of the forts are in here, or maybe a city like down in Kiru or something. Problem is right now I don't think they have assets. I may have to look. They don't have assets for like jungles and things like that. But they might. People have probably made them themselves. Doesn't seem like it to like it either. You said it, not me. He must be busy today. He usually pops in for a minute or two, but I haven't seen him. He's probably trying to figure out how to get himself scared for tomorrow. Print it out on canvas. Well, you know, it's interesting. I did that export where I put a grid in here. Now, here's the fun thing, is I built this at an angle like this because I'm like, aesthetically, it pleases me to have the city built at an angle like this because this is how it sits in the world. When I went into here to the printable stuff, and I said grid, and I brought the grid down to like, I don't know, some color along here, and I said the map size, the height, rotation, blah, blah, blah. All right, so we've got standard A4 portrait, and if I did a landscape, fit tile size. If active, the tile size is automatically corrected. There's no remainder when placing the tiles in the map area. If multi-image is set, the area across the image is taken. I don't even know what that means. But say I put a grid down here. And I say multi-page images, blah, 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 show area borders, extended grid. We'll say extended grid. Right now, the grid, I don't know how crazy it is, but see how it's rotated like this? So we got a grid, but it's rotated. Now, I don't know if I can rotate it differently. The problem is when you make a battle map like this, it's annoying when you have a character moving around this stuff to get bonked in all these spots and then creating windows and lights and all this stuff. So you can put a grid on like this. You can just do it. When you look at it, you know, that's about the right size. You know, the table's about 5 foot square. You know, people walk around and do this stuff. This is where the doors are and whatnot. It's relatively, it makes sense. Now, I think I can, yeah, you can do hex if you want to do a hex grid. I think, here we go. I can rotate this. So I could take this whole thing and rotate the entire grid. And I think I can actually even take the grid. I think I can. There is a way I can move it here. Snap area to grid. No, that would snap objects. I don't want to do that. There is an option here somewhere. But I don't know where it's at. Where I can pan this grid. And I don't see it here. Print, digital. So digital is different than print because you go inches and stuff. This is tile size, 70 pixels. You go 40. Rows. Yeah, that one doesn't, I mean, that's a little crazy. That's too small. Yeah, you'd have to change all these values, but I'm not worried about that. I don't remember how to rotate this thing, or not rotate it, but move it. I thought there was a way. anyway, you can see that you can do this. You can put a grid on here. You can do the whole thing as a grid. And you could technically export a whole section. I could say, hey, I want to make this a little bigger. I'm sorry, it's going off the screen for you guys, but it's bigger for me. And I could say, hey, I want to export this whole thing. And I just say, blah, I want to export this whole section. And you can do it. You go export mode. You can say export the whole screen. You can have the grid on. You can do the type of PNG. You can go to the folder. You can export the whole thing as a web video, which is fun. And so you can turn on the map area. You can export the whole map area. You can export just the screen. You can say what's on screen is the downtown. Or you could export this whole thing. And you have this massive battle map. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, we're going to get out of that. We're going to exit that. All right, we're done with that for now. Now printed on a campus. Oh, that's what you're saying. Never mind. Nobody said anything since. Everybody's been quiet since then. My goodness. I've shut you all up with playing around with the tools. What was I doing? All right. All right. So that is Greenhaven. Let me go to this one's here. See if there's anything I missed in Greenhaven. Small village at a crossroads, adventure village, serialized short story, blah, blah, blah. I have the shrine to Eredor over there. The followers of Nya. And the Thornwall. Okay, yeah. So we don't have a whole lot of other specific things in the city. Most of it's from the short story. Okay. Cooking dinner. Woohoo. I just played whack-a-mole with the banhammer. Ooh, good. Get him. One of those trifecta canvas portraits. Started adventure here. First death here. Journey ends here. Bam! Maybe they're all in the same spot. You're cooking dinner. So much map stuff. What are you making, Zerator? What's everyone's favorite child-friendly Halloween movie? Nightmare Before Christmas. I would say Charlie Brown's Halloween. I got a rock. Oh. It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. That's what it's called. It's Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. I was like, it's got a name. I can't remember what it is. I mean, you could, I suppose, argue for a Scooby-Doo movie, but they're not exactly Halloween specific, are they? I don't think they are. Not that I know of. Lots of leftovers from the week, so warming it all up for the family. Nice! Warm up the leftovers! Meat's back on the menu. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, I hope everyone enjoys the leftovers, because I certainly do. All right, so where's the King's Wold? The King's Gate. Veek. Coffin, the Banefires, Barrow. House. Tell me I don't have an entry for it. Don't tell me I don't have an entry for it. I think I do somewhere in here. Wood Hall, the Horse Bridge, the Old Fort, Horse Gate, Hagenveld, Rivergate. So the good thing is now that I have kind of an idea of the map of Greenhaven, I can actually draw from that and put more entries into the literal entry here in the document about specific points of interest, place names like the Northern Port, the other guide or the other farms, the little parts in the village, other parts outside of town. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Ugh. Temples of the Gods. Wold. Wait, what is... Oh, okay, that's that. Wold, Aldholm, Dunholm, Berga, Austin Wold. I don't think I have an entry for that. Oh, well, that's interesting. I'm going to have to enter that. Yeah. Because it's... Oh, I have it called something different here. That's why I can't find it. Let me check something, because I think I renamed this on my version. I did. Okay. Okay. Because this is before, I wrote this entry before I bisected that forest a bit. And I had a different name given to part of it. And I'm like, oh, that's right. I changed this whole thing. Ah, there we go. All right. The Kingswold is what it was. I had it renamed as the Greenwold here, but it's the Kingswold now. Okay, there we go. Zombie Island, favorite Scooby-Doo movie. I guess Hocus Pocus. Jensen Z's Zombie Island is a classic. Ooh, Ernest Scared Stupid was a favorite. Oh, there you go. I can't believe nobody else likes the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, but I can understand why everybody would like Scooby-Doo. Or Ernest Scared Stupid. I don't know. I never really... Halloween was never a big thing for us. It was mostly you go get some candy and that was about it. It was just never important. No. It never became a thing. Right. Let me check one thing here. If that is true or not. Okay, there we go. And nowadays, mostly, Thanksgiving for me is, Reformation Day. The Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is awesome. I love it. Especially when he tries to make his own costume. He's so good at everything. That Erudia Brown. I mean, Charlie Brown. See, if Erudia's here, he is gonna turn me into wizard glue soon. Okay. Do I need to change the name of that? Oh, I should look at the time here. I've got 16 minutes left. We've got 16 minutes left. I'm kind of think it's going to be fun to have our Strange Eons happen on Halloween evening. Assuming people are going to make it. I hope they make it. Unless they're out there partying with all the girls in cat suits that are bound to be out there somewhere because that's what Halloween's all about these days. Or they're handing out candy. Not sure. He's absolutely going to turn you into wizard glue. He is going to turn me into wizard glue. I gotta get the beard right there. So when the bottle is rolled out, I have the best looking bottle on the line with the best beard. It'll just be a bottle of wizard glue rolling down with a beard. Be perfect. I suppose I could take this Band-Aid off now. Let's see how this finger's doing today. Oh, yeah. It's well healing. I got, luckily I heal quickly. I got nicked by my coffee machine. I'd show you, but I'd have to flip you all off. See? Right there. Right there. I got a cut on my finger. And yes, I have super stupidly long fingernails because, well, I cut them all off all the time and they keep growing back so damn quickly. It would be way too late for me to give out candy. No kid had better be out at 10 p.m. Well, not the good kids anyway. Not the good kids. All right, so one thing I don't have, and maybe this makes sense, is I'm trying to decide if in Fryland's history there could have been. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have any kind of a godkin having done much of anything in Fryland, unless I could find one that was kind of all about freedom. The problem is, at the time, Fryland was part of Agrium, so it wasn't as much about, freedom. It was more about banding together, trying to overcome, the horror of the God Killer War and everything. And then they got their freedom afterwards, after Agrium pulled away and said, "Hey, you're on your own, kids. Enjoy your freedom," as a, Doppler said, "Wee," across the ocean. That's 8 for me. It's also Friday Halloween. They go later. I know as a kid, we used to go trick-or-treating when we did it at night, when it was dark, on Halloween. And then most places in towns where I'd lived, people were doing trick-or-treating, like, early, like, in the daytime. Like, right when people get off of work, you just see, like, hordes of kids wandering around in the daylight because it's safer. And sometimes it wasn't even on Halloween, depending on the day of the week it hits. So yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot around here sometimes. Like, what do you get? You get what you get. Get what you get, and you don't get upset. Close that, because that doesn't need to be open. Close my reading about monstruses and ostensoriums. And my thesaurus entries. Thesaurus. Ba, ba, ba. All right. Get that ready. Change this. Oh, maybe. Can I? Okay, there we go. Right. So we got some Godkin worked out. We got little bits of the story of Greenhaven noted here. I wrote a little bit more about Casimir. I changed a couple of the entries in Port Sturga to make sense for the Temple of Vulcan in there. I wrote up the little idea about the Divine Spark. I wrote up the idea about the Divine Spark adventure. I got that saved off to the side. Let's see here. A couple more little things written up too. Well, some of them I didn't even tell you guys what. I was just writing them on the side. I fixed the entry for the Greenwood to the Kingswold, because that's what it's actually called. And I'm thinking then I'm going to try and do like a fort or a fortress at some point here. I think that could be kind of fun. Yeah. I think it'd be cool. Renewed my passport today, $130, and it still takes almost two full months to get. Wow, 2 months. Woof. I had a passport like 25 years ago, and it's somewhere. I think it's in my safe. I don't know, but I think it only lasts for 10 years. So, like, oh yeah, you can probably get that renewed, huh? But yeah, 2 full months. Wow. That's crazy. But that's bureaucracy for you. Bureaucracy is the best. I don't think it is. And all right, we're gonna move this over here so I can see better what I'm doing. I think next time on Tuesday, I'm probably gonna go back into Greenhaven and call out parts of the town. Yeah. And talk, point out where the rat house is, the main outer wall, mark some of these things like the tavern. So if anybody has an idea of what Greenhofen's tavern and inn should be called, something having to do with Freiland, so it should have quasi-European, like a Germanic, possibly French, Germanic, possibly Polish, somewhere in that part of Europe, a feel to it, a name to it, something that could work for it, or even if it's just got like a traditional like name of a tavern that's adventurers would go to. So throw that in the comments. Throw those comments in there. It'd be great. December like 20th or something. It's not bad to have around, but also in a long distance relationship, so kind of need one. There you go. To drive 8 hours and wait 4 more to get one today, but I'm not in that much of a hurry. $1,000? Wow. That's crazy. Oh, you don't want to deal with our bureaucracy? Give us money. The bureaucracy magically goes away. That's crazy. I don't like it. I am not a fan of that. Also, I have to, since I've been sitting here drinking coffee and water and everything, and I have not gone off to go use the bathroom since lunch. I'm due for using the bathroom, which is, you're going to laugh at me for doing this, but I really want a sip of coffee. So I'm going to be stopping a couple minutes early here because I have to go use the bathroom. It is ridiculous. So I think what I'm going to do is probably call it here. I was already sort of winding down anyway, but we'll stop a couple minutes early. Money moves the process. Yes, it does. So in the comments, throw ideas for a name for a Greenhaven tavern. Greenhaven. A tavern. It could have to do with one of the gods. It could have to do with the rolling hills, the horses, because they do a lot of horse riding across the plains. They have quite an army. They're all about freedom. And freedom from Agrium is a big thing because they're really annoyed with Agrium for having left them alone at the end of the God Killer War 1,000 years ago. So, they can think of something. Throw it in the comments. But I'm going to get out of here. And I will talk to you all on Tuesday again. I will see you at Strange Eons tomorrow night, though, where we'll see what happens to us. Maybe something good. Maybe we're going to all get like a bunch of gold handed to us by lovely maidens. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. We're going to get free gold. Nothing bad will happen to any of us. The end. Or something. Yes, I'm going to play with Sevi. I don't know if I'm going to stream, but we'll see. I might. It depends on if I have enough time to get my stuff switched over before I get over there. So I'm going to get out of here, go use the bathroom, and then maybe switch my stream over and stream it. So we'll see. Cool. All right, get some reading done. All right, go watch Brandon Herrera. Sure, Frost. That's what Erudia would do. Yeah, it's totally what he'll do. What he does. He hands us stuff. He's so nice. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'll talk to you later. Please leave a like and a comment. I will talk to you later.